Welcome to my Greyhack guide. In this series, I will be going over the game Greyhack in quite a lot of detail. I will be showing you how to complete the different missions, how to gain access to the Wi-Fi, how to make your own scripts, your own tools, and your own exploits, how to hack other people's computers, how to set up your own servers and websites, and much more. In the first episode, I will just show you how to get started. So you get started by installing the Greyhack OS, and you simply choose a username, a computer name, and a password for your computer. And that's not right. There we go. And that should install the Greyhack OS. I have a different theme and a different background. You can change all of that in your settings and make the game look the way you want. So that's why my game might look slightly different than yours. Okay, so and when you start out, you will not have this file if you're starting the game for the first time. This is a shortcut that will give you access to the Wi-Fi. And since we are playing the game as if we were playing it for the first time, I will be deleting that, and then we will hack the Wi-Fi in the next episode without the shortcut. Next up, if you're starting out for the first time, you will find a, let's see here, in tutorials, the tutorial will start by default. Since I've already done the tutorial, I need to reset it manually, so I will do that here. Yes, and start tutorial. It will ask you if you have any experience with Unix, and let's say we don't. Next up, we will close this. Let's close these as well, and open the File Explorer. And now the tutorial continues. It will tell us that we are in the path --home--hack. You can see up here in what folder we are located at the moment in the File Explorer. It will also tell us that when a new user is created on the computer, a folder is created in here. So since we created the hack user, the hack folder was created in here, and that's in the -home folder, this folder right here. Next up, the tutorial tells us how the file system works. So essentially you have one folder, this main folder, where all the other folders are located on the computer, and then you can go into the different folders and they branch out. Some of them have folders inside them as well. So here's another folder, and this is how you navigate the file system. If you have used a computer previously, you probably know how this works. It's pretty standard. Next up, we go to the main folder. So we're already in the main folder, and click next. Then we're going to go to the -bin folder. So that would be this folder right here. And this folder contains all the commands that you can use on the computer in the terminal. We'll just click next. Next up, we're going to the -usr-bin folder. This folder contains all the programs on the computer. And you can tell that they are the programs by the extension exe. It's actually a Windows extension, but since it's a fairly universal extension, it has been put in the game to help new players out. So they know that it's an executable file. Yeah, so here are the programs. Next up, we are being told that we can drag and drop. So we can, for example, let's take settings and drag that to the desktop. That will copy it to the desktop. We can also drag and drop files from one file explorer to the other. Let's grab the tutorial and put that over here. It will just copy and paste. Another thing is that you can use a menu by right-clicking on files and folders, and this will give you some additional options. Properties, for example, tells you some details about the file or folder, and so on. Next up, we're going to learn about the terminal. So this is how the file explorer works. I'll keep a file explorer here to explain the terminal in more detail. Let's see here. Next. So the terminal is a kind of file explorer, I guess, or at least it can be used as one. If we use the pwd command, it will tell us in what path we are in. So when we start the terminal, it will start us in the same folder as if like when we start the file explorer. So if we start the file explorer, it will put us in -home-hack, and if we start the terminal, it will put us in -home-hack, which you can see by using this command. We can then use ls, which means list, to show all the content inside the folder we are in. So that would be all of these folders right here and the tutorial.exe, like this. Next, we will use the cd command. We are supposed to make a new folder, but first we need to go into the desktop folder, which would be this folder right here. But we will do it with the terminal, and to change directory in the terminal we use the cd command, which means change directory. So cd desktop will put us inside this folder right here, and this folder is actually the folder which contains everything on the desktop. So all of these things are in this desktop folder. If we use ls, we can see everything inside the or on the desktop, inside the desktop folder in the terminal, and that would be the same thing that we can see in the file explorer here. Next up, we're going to make a new folder on the desktop. So we will use the mkdir command, which means make directory, and we will just name it test. And as you can see up here, a test folder has been created on the desktop. There's also one in the desktop folder, of course. Next, we will learn about how to remove stuff. So there are two ways. We can either right-click the folder and delete it. This works, of course, on the desktop as well. Or we can use the rm command, which means remove, and just type remove test. This removes the test folder. One thing to note here is that if we right-click and delete, like we did with the gift file, it will throw it into the trash. But if we use the rm command, it will delete it permanently from the computer without putting it in the trash. Okay. Next up, we will learn about the cd ... cd ... puts us back one step in the file system. This is the same thing as clicking on this button right here, it just moves us back one step. After that, we will learn about the cd command. If you just type cd without anything else, it will put you into your home folder. I'm already in my home folder, but let's say that I changed my directory to something like boot. You can do that down here as well. Now I'm in boot on the file explorer, and as you can see here, or with this command, I'm in boot on the terminal as well. So if I do cd, it puts me back into my home folder like this, and that would be the same as clicking on this button, back to the home folder. Next up, we have some information about the Wi-Fi. So up here you have all your Wi-Fis that you can connect to. They all require a password. And in the next episode, I will show you how to hack the Wi-Fis and get the passwords. And that's actually the last step in this tutorial as well. The tutorial will pick up later, but for now, we will close the tutorial and go into first steps in the manual. And this will tell us how to hack Wi-Fis. And this is where we will end this video as well. And in the next episode, I will show you how to hack Wi-Fis, and we will be looking at the first steps in the manual. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.